Hey, what's up? lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2025 Netflix original show, XO Kitty Season 2, 8 episodes long. I did not think, nor plan, nor expect to cry while watching this show. Didn't expect it at all. And I had to think, after watching the season, why I had elicited such emotion while watching this absolutely adorable, cutthroat, dramatic comfort show. XO Kitty Season 2, 2025 is the season 1 was in 23, so it's been 2 years since we've had these characters. And the Cartwright is Catherine Song Covey, respectively, Kitty Song Covey, respectively. We had this as the sequel spinoff to 2021's To All the Boys Always and Forever, sequel of 2020's To All the Boys, P.S. I Still Love You, and 2018's To All the Boys I've Loved Before. This series has been going on for 7 years. Netflix property for 7 years. The first film, Noah Centineo was just talking about recently in an interview, that it was filmed as an independent film based on the book series, and then Netflix picked it up, and then it was like the biggest Netflix like blockbuster at that point. Netflix didn't really have blockbuster movies at that point. They had TV shows, but they didn't have like big movies at that point. Did very well critically. It has like a 90-something on Rotten Tomatoes. Did very well with audience. And then here we are 7 years later, and the stories are still progressing. Margot was back. Noah's character of Peter was back. I cried. Didn't expect these tears to flow down my face. But Peter Kravinsky singing Covey, with his big grin and his arms wide open, and the song singing in the background, "Better When I'm With You," is just it just gives you a sense of comfort, and it gives you a sense of stability, and you get flashbacks to watching that first film back in 2018, 7 years ago, when everything was calmer and safer, much safer than it is today. And it's very interesting when projects do that. It's very interesting when you go into watching something thinking you're going to come out one way and you come out a different way, a ball of emotional mess huddling under a blanket. The characters in the season 2 continue on their journey, their love hexagon, if you will, who's liking whom when, and who's kissing whom but in what closet where, things, right? Things. I did not know that the actress who plays Yuri and the actor who plays Mino are both brother and sister in real life. Didn't know that, which makes that even more incredibly awesome, because Anna's character of Kitty liking both of them at various points, so cool. What happens when Kitty starts to like Pravina? What happens when Juliana finds out that Yuri and Kitty kissed after watching an emotional video of Kitty's mom trying to find out more of the Song family in South Korea? How does that happen? How far are they away from Seoul? What's up with the Korean International School of Seoul, KISS? What happens when Mr. Moon, Mino's dad, comes in, who's labeled what was the title? The Korean Kris Jenner. So how does that work when there's now this new class to make a star? What happens when Dae is singing Jungkook's 7, but doesn't win the contest? Eunice wins the contest. All these different things. Cues that with Jin. How did that happen? It's just wild ride. It's just a pure, beautiful soap opera of there's not a 5-minute break in between in regards to then what happens where and who's with whom when and what's this new character Stella's motivation, and just wild. Peter coming back to visit in episode 6. That was just glorious. I really expected more characters popping up, right? Laura Jean, I expected her to be coming up in hopefully season 3. They haven't announced it yet, but this season is doing very well. It's still one of the top 10 shows on Netflix about a month later. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty fast. It's captivating. It's just adorable. You have these teens at this prep school in South Korea doing their thing, working the ways of life. What happens next? But you have this comfort aspect to it of bringing Peter back, of bringing Margot back, bringing these certain tropes from the first film into this. You know, Kitty fainting on the track is very Lara Jean in the first film. So it's very entertaining because it's comfort. It's genuine. There's nothing fake about it. It's very upfront. These characters are dealing with certain things and they all openly talk about it. Nobody's hiding things that they shouldn't have to hide for an extended period of time. Everybody's trying to work together. All of them coming together at the end to help Day be his backup dancers to help him try to win that contest. Incredible. Kitty and Margot walking their grandmother, Hamaji, up to the family home for her to see her sister again after 50 years, trying to figure out what that family feud was all about. I cried tears, literal tears streaming down my face with all of them coming in and seeing the altar of Eve's song because they never had that funeral rite. That they didn't get to have the Korean funeral rite, you know, in actual Korea, because her mom passed away when she was 3 in the Americas. So the Korean family didn't get to have that closure. It was just, I didn't expect for this season to be as great as it was. I did not expect this show to be as incredible as it is. Who would have thought a spin-off TV series based on a trilogy of incredible films, incredible cliche, heartwarming, you know, lovey-dovey, gushy films would have been absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I can't even think of other spin-off TV shows from films that have had this kind of character development and caliber. You know, for Anna to have played this character now for 7 years, I think she said she was, what did she just say? She said in some interview she saw Noah, who was 21 at the time, and you know, she thought he was this old adult, and here she is now, 21 years old, the same age he was when the first film came out. So that was 7 years ago. So she was 14 then, technically, when the first film started. And she doesn't feel like an old adult at 21, where she thought he was at 21. Very different in regards to where the world was when Noah Centineo was 21 and when Anna is 21. But I still think it's very entertaining getting those perspectives and being able to see time in a weird way. 2018, 7 years ago, was a vastly different time period, socially, politically, economically. It was different. And to have that comfort, it was different, but it was still bad. It's not as worse as it is now. I'll say it that way. So to have that kind of bring you back to a time where it was safer then than it is now, it's very interesting having that kind of like closure or hope, if you will. I'm getting way too philosophical on this aspect, but this was an incredible show. It elicited more emotion than I expected it to. I'm very excited to see what happens with season 3. I really hope there's a season 3. Exo Kitty, excellent, excellent, excellent show. Season 2, on to the next review. Mucho mahalo.